Thomas, it's up for grabs now! Thomas!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Champions.
Yes, people, we're back, and you know what? This is the inaugural show, the first show. And you know what? I got a YouTube panel. A couple of them are running late, but okay, we're on time. We're behind, but you know what? Don't worry about that. I got my guy Shaheen with me. Shaheen, what's good? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to see 2 new faces on the channel. You guys, they're quite popular guys. They've been on different channels, so I'm happy to have you guys on. You're very welcome to the channel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Shaheen's the godfather himself, running the Arsenal Lounge. If you guys don't already know, and you know what, we're here for the Friday fan cams. And you know what, we got real fans, real people. Albert, I'm gonna start with you. Big up to you, bro. How you doing? Tell the people where they can find you and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for the invite, man. It's nice to come on. Yeah, I've got my channel, Albert JTV. My Twitter handle's there. All views Arsenal, football related in general. I do like my fantasy football Premier League tips as well, man.
Enough said. Devil just joined us a little late. It's okay, Devil. You didn't miss nothing. We just started. And then I got African Gooner here in the house. African Gooner, tell the people where you're from and where they can catch you.
Yeah, so the African Gooner from South Africa, Johannesburg, repping. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at La African Gooner, and you can find me at 101 on Arsenal.
There you go. And we got Devil here, late appearance. Devil, what's good, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, sorry, man, doing dad things. Recently just had a baby, so I had to feed and all that things. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for inviting me on. You guys can find me at Twitter is DevoLDN, and also as part of the Football Dugout. We got shows every Monday and Thursday. Check us out at the Football Dugout on YouTube.
There you go. And Albert, I don't think you got to shout out your channel. What was your channel? For
yeah, sorry. Yeah, let me say that. Yeah, Albert JTV, man. Like I said, my Twitter handle's there. Check out the content. You like it, disagree, like it, arguments, whatever, man.
There you go. And you know what? You guys already know where you can find me at EGTV. But we're going to get right into it, guys. I want to know your stance on Arteta's style of play, formations, and we're going to get to how we would play. But I just want to know what your thoughts on how the season's gone so far in the style of play, the players that have been playing on the pitch, and just little things that you picked up. I know it's a very broad topic, so we might be on this for a little while. And you know what? To you guys in the comment section, if we do get further on in the video and you guys want to come on, we might put the link in the comment section for some of you guys to come answer us and ask us some questions near the end of the video. But yeah, I'm going to start with you, Shaheen, because I know you're not going to be here for long. Tell me what you think about Arteta's performances so far. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Sorry. We had a show on Wednesday with lead judges in Turkish, and I said this there as well. His performances has been inconsistent, and it goes in line with somebody who's inexperienced. You can't really criticize Arteta. He didn't give himself the job. It was a fantastic opportunity for him. It still is. Arsenal is a massive job, and he's learning on the job. And you need to look at the people who've given him the job. My problem with Arteta, not problem, but my problem with the situation is that I think he doesn't have anybody to go to and ask for advice. So if he's now in a bit of a situation where things are not going well, I don't really see anybody at the club or in his coaching staff that he can, with proper experience, that he can go to and say, what do you think? Give me some advice. I said, we've somehow cut all ties with Arsene Wenger. I'm not sure if he can call him and ask for advice, or if he should, or anybody. So that's my thoughts on him so far. He's clearly got. He knows. Look, he's going to be a great coach one day. He's going to be a great manager one day. I'm just not sure that he should have started off at Arsenal. He should have learned things at Arsenal, because there's a lot of pressure at Arsenal. Look, if he goes to Leeds and loses, and then he goes to Wolves and Spurs and doesn't get good result in these games, he's going to start feeling the pressure. So that's my thoughts.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to jump to Devo. Devo, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I kind of agree with some of the stuff you were saying, Shaheen. But then on the other side, I think for me, it's not about him getting advice from people. I think he needs to be the guy and he needs to make decisions. I think he's been in the game long enough to know what it is. He's learnt from Pep. He knows these things. And I think in terms of his team selections, I think he's getting that part wrong. I think he's close. He's close to getting the results and everything we want. We've seen that he can do it. I agree with you in terms of his consistency. That's what's lacking. But I think where we're lacking in consistency is because he's persevering with players who aren't performing. He's not being ruthless enough. The likes of Willian, they're not being lacazette.
Yeah, go on.
No, I'm saying those guys aren't being dropped. So he's kind of creating this own problem for himself by giving. It's the same kind of trap that Arsene Wenger fell into, where he's given too much trust to certain players who aren't repaying him. And the answer is right in there in his face. And it's like he's too stubborn to see it. And that's where people are starting to get on his back, because Aubameyang is being pushed out left for no reason at the moment. It's not working. We're not scoring goals. We've got Lacazette wasting every chance we have. Move Aubameyang back in the middle. Bring in I don't know, you could play Saka wide left. You could bring in a Reiss Nelson. You could bring in whoever else. But I think he needs to tell these players who are earning these big monies, like, guys, if you're not performing, you're out the team. This is my team. This is how I'm going to do it. And then I think the fans will respect that more, because we could clearly see who's performing and who's not. And I think giving a little bit more track.
What you're saying, but what I was saying earlier is, look, every manager, even experienced ones, sometimes they go through patches or they stay stuck in a situation. Arteta is an inexperienced manager, right? So from maybe if he had the experienced head around him, maybe he would have been told a while back to play Aubameyang through the middle. Maybe he would have been told, you know what, it's best not, it's maybe not a good idea to leave Ozil out completely. Maybe add Saliba to the European squad, so maybe you can give him games a few times. I agree with you. You do have a point, but my point in terms of the inexperience and the experienced head around him was that because he's inexperienced, he needs guidance, and I don't see where that guidance will come. When things are going well, everything is rosy. It's when things are not going well that's potentially somebody would give him some advice on that. But I'll take your points.
Yeah, I think, as I said, he's close. He's close. I mean, we've seen how we can play. We've seen how we can play. It's just we seem to have gone into this thing where the new formation, the 3-4-3, worked against the bigger sides, and then we've kind of just got stuck in that. I'd like to see him go back to a 4-5-1 or 4-2-3-1 or something a bit more expressive, where we could play more, creative types, and maybe get Partey and Ceballos, and then maybe have someone in the hole in front of them, or whether you're going to have Xhaka and Partey, but just a bit more flexibility in the formation to try and give us a little bit more about us. Because at the moment we're predictable, and we might be solid at the back, but we're crap going forward. We're not creating. So when our defense does what we're used to doing, like we did against Villa, we've got nothing to come back with, because we know we can't go forward. If we can't defend, we're in trouble. So I think this international break came at the right time for him.
So just a quick point on what you both have said in terms of Shaheen. I think for me, I see where you're coming from, but is it really his decision to make those calls? I think the Ozil call, I'm not sure if that was his decision, right? A lot of these things, Aubameyang on the left, I mean, it was working, right? So for me, you guys are saying, we're inconsistent. I disagree with that. I think we've been consistently crap at going forward and scoring goals. Apart from the first game, we didn't score any goals. So we've been consistent, because this is what we've been seeing the entire time. We have no creativity. We have no players who can pull out, magic out of the hat like Alexis Sanchez, dribble a player, go past him, or make space. I mean, I talk about Zaha. Zaha is that type of player we need that could have changed everything. He has the ball and he knows where the goal is, and he's going to try and make something happen. And even if it doesn't work out, something else will happen because he's moving the pieces, out of position. And that's why I don't really rate Pepe, because he can't do that, man. He dribbles, and he dribbles out of bounds, or he loses the ball. He doesn't have that in him. And for a 72 million player, man, come on, 72 million? That's a lot of money, and you're paying for a guy who can't even show up in games like this. People saying that he's scoring in the Europa League. He's playing against farmers. He's supposed to be scoring hat tricks in those games. Frankly, that's my opinion. So I think we've been consistent, and to be honest, I didn't want Arteta to begin with. I wanted a Simeone, or I wanted an Allegri, or I wanted a Mourinho because he's ruthless and he's a winner. And that's what Arsenal need, because we've been way too soft under Arsene Wenger. So for me, I mean, after a few games, I started to see what Arteta can do. Devo, you're totally right. Against the bigger teams, we had to play a 3-4-3 because defensively we're shambolic. That was the only way. Defend, get one chance, score, and kill the game. And we were able to do that, but against the smaller teams, and we've had this problem under Emery, and I'll say even at the end of Wenger's era, where we just can't break down, the small, so-called smaller teams that sit back and say, okay, bring it to us. And as Shaheen said, I mean, that's really questionable. If we aren't going to get Aouar, if you're not going to play Willian at the 10, if Emile Smith-Rowe is going to be injured for 2-3 months, Martinelli's injured, I don't rate Ozil. I think that he's quite lazy, and, that there's this argument for me. So I just don't understand why he's not in the squad. Last 20 minutes, say, listen, go show us your magic. Prove to me why you should be playing. He doesn't even have that opportunity. And because we aren't able to create, it looks bad on him, because now we need to solve this issue. And let's be real, guys. We aren't signing anyone in January. They're going to say we spend money on birthday and stuff.
Get to that.
That's one thing. In terms of the creativity, sometimes I'm starting to think it's not just necessarily creativity we need. When you look at someone like Joe Willock, he might not be a great player, but what he offers to the team, and the fact that he's the only midfielder we have willing to run beyond the striker. He's the only one willing to get in the box. The others sit outside the box. And then we haven't seen enough of Partey to see if he's going to be willing to do that. Xhaka.
It's not his job too. It's not his job to do that, yeah,
we
as
need
well.
a midfielder who's going to break the lines and get beyond the striker just to give another threat. Because if we only have Lacazette or Aubameyang who's making threats in the box, they're going to be nullified easily.
So, Devo, I want to bring everybody on that point.
1 second, African Gooner. What we're going to do is we're going to bring everybody in, and then we'll have a free-for-all after, okay? Let's get Albert in.
Go for it, Albert.
Albert.
Yes. God, where do I start, man? How long have we got for this podcast?
I'll report to you on Twitter later, African. So I'll come back to you on that point.
Yep.
Cool.
So now, thanks, guys. You know what? As if anyone has seen my content, we're drip fed as Arsenal fans that we have no money. We haven't even got enough money to get managers, let alone players. So those big names we talk about, they was never going to come to Arsenal. In terms of Arteta, it's mad because Arsenal's a massive club, and you could have a tag team of Mourinho, Klopp, and Simeone. They would still struggle at this club. So Arteta has got his first job in management or coaching as Arsenal is just. It's unthinkable, to be honest. And, there was a possibility at the time he could have got the job a lot sooner than he did. That's a scary thing. But in terms of Arsenal starting this season, I don't know what you guys think, but for me, the big wake-up call was the West Ham game at home. I thought we was incredibly lucky to get that win. Yes, we'll take the 3 points, we'll take the W, but West Ham should have walked out that stadium with 3 points and giving each other high fives. And to me, that was a wake-up call. In terms of the performance, you know what? Irrespective of formations, 4-2-3-1, 3-4-3-4, 3-3, you have to play the right players in the right positions, man.
Yes.
Devo makes a good point. I mean, before the start of the season, if I was talking about Joe Willock in isolation, I would have sent him out on loan, but at the same token, he's the only player we have in the squad who actually goes beyond the front three. Yeah, we can talk about the Farmers League on the Thursday, the Europa League, but if you look at the first 2 goals against in the game that Willock, they came, the 2 own goals they came from him making late runs beyond the strikers. And you know what frustrates me when I watch Arsenal. One, the football's boring, and it has been. That's not just an Arteta thing. That's going back to Emery, the latter years of Wenger. The football was not enjoyable to watch. It's painful to watch Arsenal. It is. I just feel like I'm drawing tooth, man. Like it's mad. In terms of like the Saliba thing, for example, that baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. I don't understand what's going on. But
I think he was going to go on loan, and they didn't expect him to stay.
Didn't he have a bereavement or something? And I think it's a psychological thing rather than...
I hear that. But you know what it...
Sorry, can I just interrupt for 1 second? Because, Egal, I need to go do something, but I'm going to come back. Just before I go, I want to give shout out to my guy Turkish. If you haven't subscribed to him, go subscribe. He's a top man, top content. I need to go do something. Obviously, it was not part of the plan for me to come on. So I'll come back and join you guys in a bit, right? But I'm going to come and catch up with African Gooner. We'll catch up on the thing later on, yeah?
Cheers.
See you guys in a bit.
Later, Shaheen. What do you call it? Albert, I'll let you finish and then we're going to go to Kesh before I close this chapter.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Yeah, I'm saying, you're Turkish, man. I can assure you, I'm definitely not crying out for Ozil, but that's another.
No one is. No one is, but you have to kind of question, right? I mean, no one's crying out for him, but it's questionable.
Yeah.
No, it's political, bro. We know that.
Sorry, Egal. What I was going to say, you know what it is with Arteta, and I think you could label it any manager. With the likes of people like Pepe and obviously Guendouzi's gone out on loan and Torreira's gone out on loan. These are not these are not Arteta signings, you know. That's no coincidence. None of these guys have been bombed out the team. But then don't cut your nose off to spite your face in terms of Pepe, because you're saying in press conferences that you want a complete performance, you want a 90-minute performance. But if you're starting the guy in one league away game against Man City, I don't know what consistency you're going to get. So with our next 3 Premier League games, for example, the rumblings of Arteta sort of, you guys have seen it on social media, the rumblings have been there even before the defeat against Villa. With our next 3 Premier League games, if we don't take a minimum 6 out of 9 points, it's going to be peak, man.
I'll leave you there. Because you can go all day about that.
Yeah.
Albert, let's be honest. Kesh, I know you're joining late. It's okay, bro. What do you didn't miss much. We were just talking about the intros and everybody getting their thoughts, the opening monologues. So tell me, what you saying about what's going on so far this season?
It's nothing far from what I expected, to be honest. Like, I understood there was going to be blips. I didn't think it was going to suddenly become this team that all our problems go away, especially the fact that we didn't do the business that we needed to do. On the other hand, you can look at what the manager's been doing and you can criticize a lot of the things he's doing. But at the same time, I just feel like it's just same old Arsenal. And I don't tend to believe that it's just down to the manager. It's a bit of both. I know everyone's calling for a different system. I agree. But when we do go to that system, I promise you, we will find out who the frauds are. Because we will still see a lot of problems going on there. I promise you that.
Yeah, we're going to get into the formations and everything. Everyone's going to get their say. I'm just going to end off this topic by saying, I feel like there's 2 ends of Arsenal fans. There's always been 2 polarized ends of Arsenal fans. There's the side who always say, there's the side who always get on the players' back and they cover for the manager. And then there's the other side where you feel like they always go after the person who's at the top. And they don't care about anybody else. They always go for the person at the top. They go for the board. They go for the managers, and they go for those guys. So, and also, we're still split now. Again, we're split on Arteta. We're split on. There's people split on Ozil. There's people split on Lacazette. To me, at the end of the day, we as fans, we're gonna be going through turmoil as long as the fan base is split. And the only thing that I can think that can bring the fan base together is us going back to our ways of winning. And you know what? We haven't been a winning team since 2006. Let's be honest.
I don't think it's just about winning though. We've got to find our thing. Like, we can win, but it can be short term. If you know what I'm saying, if we went the rest of the season and won, I still think we'll go into next season and we'll still look bad. It's about putting things into place and trying to get this team to be consistent. Not comparing to the likes of Man City, the Liverpool. We need to start looking at teams like the Wolves, the Leicester teams that find a way to actually put up a challenge.
Okay.
We're thinking way too ahead.
I think we can look at Liverpool. I think we can look at Liverpool just before Klopp came in. Liverpool in a worse position than where we are. Do you know, at that time? And what they did is they had a clear plan of what and that's what we need. But that came from the top. We don't have that direction at the moment.
But the reason why I'm
sure
saying,
we'll get into Kroenke and all of that in a bit.
The reason why I'm saying that though is because we're not going to get the back end. So we need to look at what Wolves are doing. It's trying to be smart, breed some youngsters through, and take our time. We're looking for immediate rewards. This is Arsenal. We seem to forget that this has been going on for years and years. This ain't Arsenal of 2004. This has been many years going. So how do you
They're looking for immediate rewards by signing retirement home players like Willian and giving away all our, we ain't got much money.
That's
and
a
we're giving it
bandit.
all away to that brother. But I'll get on
So-
Willian in a bit. That's the
So,
dumbest.
so
signing
the
ever.
root cause is quality, guys. We don't have the quality. And who's in charge of getting the quality players into the team? That's not the manager, really. I mean, yes, kind of a little bit, but that's more the owners. I mean, they don't put money into the club. And, you can't, come on. I mean, Kesh, I know you're saying, we have to wait and stuff. But, dude, it's been, we had this chat on Twitter. It's been 15, 16 years. There's no more patience, man. I can't wait anymore. All the hurt and pain that we've been through. I mean, I understand that there's a process and you know what I mean? But, like, you said it yourself, this is the same old crap. We're having the same old problem. It's like a cycle. We buy strikers, we don't have a defense. We buy defense, we don't have a midfield. Like, it's just the same old crap. We never buy a team or have, a full team with quality all over the pitch, man. And that's what all the best teams in the world do. Look at Juventus, look at Madrid, look at Barcelona, look at any top team. They have quality
we can't
players.
look at them teams. We're not them teams there. We can't
No,
look at
we
them
could have
teams.
been those teams if we recruited properly, spending 35 million on Xhaka, 35 million on, Mustafi, all the money that we spent, Dennis Suarez, like the list goes on and on.
Let Albert go. He's been itching to get in. Albert, what
I'm
do
not
you
itching,
think
man.
about
I like listening to the guy's passion, man. It's good. But, you know what it is?
It's frustrating, Albert, because you invest your life into this, and like it hurts me, right? It hurts as a fan. Like I understand to be patient, but like if I'm seeing the same old crap all the time, I can't be patient for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be dead.
It's true. You know what it is? I think we could sit here for hours, but for me, like it comes back down to recruitment. You can listen. You can buy a Thomas Partey, that's fine, but you need to get the right tools around him for him to flourish. We knew coming into the start of the season. Well, I mean, we finished 8th for a reason last season. Yeah, between between two managers, but yeah. So, we finished 8th last season for a reason. So, when I saw some of the there's a big difference between me. There's a big difference for me between when you start the season having optimism and being realistic. I mean, I saw people talking top 4. If we get it right, title challenge. I did hear that. I'm not going to say so.
I heard that.
I heard that. Well. I saw that on Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, we've been at the Champions League for a very, very long time, man. And I'd be honest with you, even with the recruitment we had in the window, we had a longer window than you would normally have for a transfer window. Even with Thomas Partey, even before we got Thomas Partey, I said, if we don't address the midfield balance, we won't get top 4. Even with Thomas Partey, I don't think we'll get top 4 still. That sounds harsh to say, but it's the truth.
I agree with that.
We have a spine of the team now, but that's going to take time for it to solidify with Leno. You can talk about Leno all day long and how good a goalkeeper is or not. Leno, Gabriel, Thomas Partey, Aubameyang. It's tough to watch, man.
You know what I would say?
We can address the negatives all the time. Kesh, I'm going to get back to you 1 second. I'll get right to you. We can address all the negatives and the positives, but do you feel like we can never be balanced with our opinions? Because I feel like there's always one scale or the other scale. When it comes to after losing 3-0, you can't find any positives from that performance, obviously. But it's going to be so one way that I feel like for a couple of weeks until we start going on a winning streak, no one's going to be talking about any of the positives. So I want you guys to mention anything where you guys see a shining light from this season besides young players.
Kesh, before you go, I have to say this. Dude, there's no balance because Arsenal's not a balanced team, man. We go from heaven to hell real quick, man. There's no balance. There's no middle ground for us. We beat the best teams in the world, and then we lose against the shittiest teams in the world. That's why, as fans, you go from up here to, we're going to make top 4 to, like, relegation, man. And that's been Arsenal my entire life, man. That's it.
What I would say is, though, when we had a quality team of the likes of the Nasris, the Fabregas, we were screaming out for a spine down the middle. Now we've got a spine, we haven't got those quality around to wrap around that spine. So we're still in the same place.
Yeah.
Disagree, Kesh. A spine without quality around it.
Dude, In the past, teams weren't competitive, man. Now teams are getting money that they couldn't spend before. And we've been just, jerking around. Now all these teams are catching up to us and we're like, yeah, we need to recruit better. We need to do all this stuff. And it's too late. All these guys have already caught up to us. Everton, Wolves, Leicester, all these teams are at our level now. And now you're trying to sign players that they can sign, that they can pay the same wages and stuff. So we're too late. It's so hard. We're not an attractive club. And it hurts me in the heart to say that we're not an attractive club. We're talking about Aouar and all these
Let Devil jump in. Let Devil jump in.
Be real. World-class players.
We'll always be.
No, not for world-class players, man. I'm sorry. None of the top 10 players in the world are coming to us.
Thomas Partey's not a shit player, is he? Thomas Partey's one of the better central midfielders.
No, I'm not saying that. That was a fluke.
So, and he was playing at one of the top clubs in Spain. So we are an attractive club. We are an attractive club.
Money talks.
Mostly just because we're in London. So, firstly, that's a big bonus.
Yeah, Devo, that's all the given. I agree with you. That's all given.
One second. We'll always be able to sign players of a certain level of quality. We are never ever going to be able to go out and spend 150, 160 million on players. So get that out of your mind. That's not what we are. We've never been that club. Up until a few years ago, our record signing was still Wiltord. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're never going to be at that club. But where we need to be better is identifying players who are ready to take that step to the next level and bring them in at a decent price so that if we need to sell them on a value, we can. And that's where we've gone wrong. Pepe for 72 million is a dead signing because he's not at that top level. If he doesn't work out, we're not going to get 72 million back, are we? So I think the problem is that we're not identifying the players we need to be identifying. There's a player at the moment who we should be bringing in. I can't pronounce his name. He plays at Salzburg. He's Hungarian. That guy. He's the kind of player we should be playing because he's ready to make that step up. It's clear and evident. We bring him in. If it works, we get 3-4 years out of him. We sell him to Barcelona for treble the money. That's where we need to be as a club. People who are thinking that we are
Dominic the boss line.
So people who are thinking that we're Barcelona, we're Real Madrid, we're Juventus, get that out of your mind. We are not that club. Do you know what I mean? We can never be those clubs. We're always going to have the same model.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we are those clubs. I'm saying those are successful clubs in the past, right? And you, in business and anything in life, you look at successful people and what they do to get there, right? And you try to replicate that in your own way. So to do that is to buy quality, right? And I agree with you, dude. When we signed Thomas Partey, I wanted him. That was my primary target the entire summer. When we got him, I said, okay, maybe we can make top 4. But I think really we got lucky to get Thomas Partey, and I'm so happy we did. But that's, again, one player. We need that type of player in every single position around the pitch. And that's the problem. And if you look at the top clubs...
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
When Liverpool, I always go back to Liverpool because that's, for me, that's the model we need to copy. Yeah. When Liverpool were signing players such as Salah, Mane, were these guys big world-class footballers?
No. Even Jota.
But what it is, they're signing players at a level who are ready to make that step up to the next level. But they identified those players. This is where we're going wrong. We're not identifying these players, and when we do, we're not making the moves. So that's the problem. The problem is that we're signing players like I always go back to Pepe. Xhaka was signed a long time ago, and for me, you can either say that was a success or it wasn't. But I think we're not identifying players strongly. Gabriel is a good identification. That's a good signing. But then we're signing players like Luiz, Willian, like them, man. There, we shouldn't be signing them, man.
Because we can't afford the top players. We can't afford the top players, so we cheap out.
We're paying Willian 200 grand.
Turkish is responding to you. He's saying, Devo, at the end, we've never been that club. He's questioning that. He's saying we can be that club. What do you think about that?
Well,
thank you. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
While Stan Kroenke's in charge of the club, we can never be that club. We know Stan Kroenke ain't going to put no money in. So we will never be able to do Real Madrid and spend 150 million on someone and then the next season...
He just bought Thomas Partey. He can if he wants to.
Yeah, but
he can if he wants to.
40 million, bro.
And going to. There's a difference
40 million.
Going to.
Yeah, I know.
He spent 50 on Ake.
No, I know.
We're dealing with these clubs that have got way better structures than we do. We can't, like Liverpool had to go and pay 80-odd million for a defender and 70 million for a goalkeeper to get to where they are. We can't do that. Kroenke is a problem. And as long as Kroenke is there, we got to think differently. Because while Kroenke is in charge of this club, we are not spending that money.
Listen, this is where we made mistakes. We made mistakes like I would say, Devo, I disagree with you on one point. We identify the player, but we don't go out of our way to sign that player. Look at Nkunku. Yeah. We could have bought him last summer, when we got Dennis Suarez. What was it, last summer? The year before? When did we have Dennis Suarez? The
2 years ago.
In January. We could have got Nkunku. But what did we do? We said, no, we're going to pay 10 less million than Leipzig paid for a guy on loan that never played more than one game for us. That is bad
Cheapskates.
recruitment. That is trying to find the easy solution, and in the long run, spite in your face. That is not what we should be doing. I agree with you. But when I say identifying the players, we identify the player, but we never spend that extra 10 million, that extra 20 million that needed to get him. That's
what
different.
I would say on what African Goon is saying, that Partey was a bit of a lot. I disagree, because Asamoah was there available. We could have got it. It weren't because he didn't want to come. It's we didn't want to put the money up front. So there's players out there of that quality that you can get. No matter if there's a Juventus chasing it. Juventus was rumored to be in for it, but we didn't put the money down. So therefore, we're spiting our own face.
No, I agree with you. And when I say luck, is because I don't expect Arsenal to do that. I wanted that to happen with all my heart, and I didn't expect them to do it, and they finally did it, right? But that's a once-off. We don't do that for every position. We need Zaha. We need ready-made players all over the pitch, man. And we cheap out all the time. It's a cycle. We keep cheaping out, and we get Willian and David Luiz to plug in gaps, and we loan players when we need to buy the real stars. And sorry, in terms of Liverpool and stuff, listen, we had Sanchez, we got rid of him for free, Mkhitaryan for free. We have star players. Van Persie we sold for 20 million. Liverpool got real money for their star players. We never did, and we could never reinvest that money.
We are terrible at selling players. We are terrible at selling
Albert, you wanted to jump in. Yeah, we know that, bro. We wouldn't get 20 million. Right now, they're saying Lacazette's worth 30 million. Ryan Brewster went for 23 million. What's going on? But yo, Albert, tell me what you're saying.
Yeah, Arsenal's transfer policy, man. I tell you, I'm gonna get old before my time, man. This is like a Jack and Nori reoccurring story, man. Because the thing is, if Thomas Partey was our number one target, why have we waited till the last day of the transfer window to get him? That's the first thing. Because it almost went from Hossim Aouar, no, it was Partey. Then it was Aouar. The thing is, like, I understand we get this rubbish fed that we're a inverted commas self-sustaining club, right? We make poor buys. You don't have to sometimes break the bank in order to get the right recruitment. For example, I look at a position in our team, right? Which, I'd be surprised if you guys disagree, but our right back position, for example, just one prime example.
Get me started.
Is Arsenal Football Club trying to tell us as supporters, you cannot find a right back domestically and abroad to play a right back for the Arsenal?
Cedric Suarez.
Listen, you know what, guys, I would cry for us to go and get a Max Aarons, who I tweeted about before the start of last season, or a Tariq Lamptey. I look at Reece James play for England yesterday for Chelsea, and I'm thinking, raw. This guy would walk into Arsenal's team
easily.
Yeah. So I don't know what Arsenal can get rid of 20 million scouts if they want to or whatever, but come on, man. Like,
you know what I think is? You know what I think the problem is? I think the problem is the people on the board. I think there's too many people against each other. I think there's guys that probably would want to do it, and then there's other guys that say no, they don't do it, and then they can't come to a conclusion. So then that's how we get left. That's how I feel it is. I feel one person saying yes, no, we need to replace him, and the other person saying no, he's good enough, and they can't come to a conclusion. And then we left with Bellerin.
Yeah, but there's certain people just doing little, favors for their man, and that, and bringing in players.
Well, we don't know if that's true, but yeah.
No, come on. No. Cedric was signed for that reason. Luiz was signed for that reason. Willian was signed for that reason. So certain men can line their pockets. That's why we got these big ballers at the club.
Yeah, Albert, jump in. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I lost, but I'll come back to me. I think I lost what I was gonna say, man.
You know what, guys? I was gonna leave it there. We got the rest of the show. We're gonna talk about the actual team, and first I'm going to go with the formation that we want to play, and then we'll fill in the team. So what formation, if you guys are in Arteta's shoes right now, would you completely get rid of the back three and just go straight back four right away, or are you sticking with it, trying to transition into it slowly? What are you guys saying?
I think it's a bust situation. You've got to go for it. Otherwise, the pressure's going to come on. I can't see us winning a game with this system. I can't see it happening. One, the system's too complicated for these shit ballers. Way too complicated for him. Like, I don't know if you're playing ball and you've done training drills and a man's messing up the training drill. That's what it feels like when we play the system. There's certain people that could fit in it, and there's certain people that can't fit in it. So
just name the names. Just name the names. We've seen it. Bellerin against Liverpool.
Bellerin.
He's a right back. But
over that right hand side is appalling. Appalling.
Super dead.
Holding.
Like, if you look at these ballers, they are not even top 6 quality, and we're expecting to break into the top 4. How do you explain that?
I don't agree with that. Not all of them. You can't say all of them, obviously.
No, I said that right side of our defense. They're not top 6 quality.
Yo, you told me something before Rob Holding came to Arsenal. Did you guys know he was debating to quit football?
Quit. Yes, my friend. Listen, Rob Holding's giving me tickets. I've got personal connections. He's giving me tickets to go to Emirates. The guy was willing to quit and finish uni. He wasn't getting a look in at Bolton.
He cost us $2 million again.
And he's got a horrific injury record as well.
Yeah,
if you look at his career appearances, not just at Arsenal, I'm talking about when he's at Bolton, it's shocking. It's shocking. And you know what it is? Sorry, just like a general point, guys. With the Arsenal fan base, obviously sections of the fan base, people can come at me in the comments. I'm going to say it. Now, when Arteta took over, yes, we improved this player and that player, and I know what, maybe we should give him a chance and keep him. And I think to myself, if we keep the likes of, for example, a xhaka and the Mustafi, but you want to get better quality, you can't have both. We're going to have a squad of 5,000 people, 5,000 players in the team. Like, you can't have it both ways. As a fan base, we need to get real, man. These players are not good enough. We've had them for 4-5 years. We're relying on the likes of a 22-year-old in Gabriel, who's come into a new league for the first time. No football in about 4 months.
Yeah.
And we're relying on Gabriel and Saka for our key players.
Let me read this super chat. Big up SI Tyson, my guy. He's saying big up Egal, great content as always. Don't forget about the other guys, bro. You got Devo in the house, you got African Gooner, you got my guy Albert and Kesh. Big up to them too, bro. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get caught off track, guys. Let's try to keep it. Let's try to keep it on track. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find the formation that we can all agree on, and then if we can find something close where we can all similarly agree on, maybe choose to disagree on the players, but at least the formation. What would you guys go with? Kesh said a back 4.
Back 4. I think back 4. I think you either got to go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. I think those are the two. I think with Partey in the middle, you could kind of get away with doing a 4-2-3-1. But it depends who you want to put next to him. Me personally, I think Elneny's done well in certain games, but I don't think he's going to be a consistently good foil in the midfield. I think he gives you energy for certain games, but other games I'll put Ceballos in there because I think Ceballos I think 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 for me.
Okay, we got another super chat. True is true, and the men are speaking. Okay.
So I agree with Devo. Firstly, on the point that you said, Albert, those are shit players, and the rest of the world knows they're shit players, so we can't sell them. Cause I mean, you can't sell Mustafi and xhaka anymore. Even Pepe, man, we're not getting 72 million. Even if we wanted to sell him, honestly, I'd trade him for Zaha, but that's a separate conversation. I agree completely. 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. To be honest, guys, I actually was quite happy with the team against Aston Villa. I actually thought that was a really strong team. I thought we're gonna wipe the floor with them 3-0. And you know, sometimes even though you don't have creativity, you're expecting your star players to just do something, like just create magic. You know, you have talent.
You know what? Sorry, Kesh. You know that team that got put out against Villa? I actually didn't have an issue with the team. I think you could have tweaked it in the sense that you could have played a flat back 4 because we know Saka's not a defender, so you could have gone with a flat back 4. That's what I would have tweaked personally.
Kesh, I agree. We should have played a back 4. I agree on the formation should have been different, but I think the players they're all good enough, man. I mean, Elneny's been good.
It's not just that.
What do you disagree with? So firstly, let me just say, I'll play Elneny, Thomas Partey. I play a back 4. Sorry?
Let him respond.
He's getting carried away with the performances that Elneny's been giving it. When you're going up against a Villa, a lesser team, you've got to put someone else in there who's a bit more attacking minded. We're going there with the same intention that we went to Old Trafford with. How are you expecting to come out of that game any better than a 1-0 win that we got from a penalty? It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I
so-
totally see where you're coming from. But I mean, I think, look, listen, we're playing Aston Villa, man. Like, you know, I think there's no excuse to lose 3-0 to Aston Villa, right? So
You can't-
creativity,
But that's the thing,
creativity.
though.
Look at
Football
the
doesn't
Aston
work
Villa
like
team.
that.
They've got more creativity in their side than
Yeah,
we do.
football doesn't work
They're
like
better
that.
going
No,
forward.
guys. I'm gonna say something that's gonna give people a reality check. And I'm a very positive person, but this hit me hard when someone broke it down to me and literally sat me down and said, "Name me where Arsenal are in the midfield ranks in the Premier League." And I said, "We're probably 7th." They're like, "No, you're not
15th,
even
11th.
you're not even in the top 10.
15th.
We're
No,
11."
no.
Let me-
I looked at every single team and who they have in their midfield. And the way I did it was, if I can take 2 players from their midfield and put it into ours, I get rid of that team and I put them ahead of us. So I looked at every single team almost until I got to West Ham and like Crystal Palace. That's where I stopped.
Mhm.
There's 10 teams that are better than us in our midfield. How are we ever going to compete? I don't know. But the thing I'm saying is our defense and our attack cannot carry us through every single game. That's where this formation, playing the 3-4-3, was brought into its own existence, because we don't have the midfield quality to put 3 midfielders on the pitch. That's why we played the 3-4-3. That's why Tierney's playing on the left center back, so he can play balls over the top. David Luiz playing in the center some games, so he can play balls over the top. Our creativity is coming from the back of the defense, not even in the midfield.
And our wingers and our wing backs as well. Look, Tierney
No,
is like
but
our main
you know
creator. Him
why
and
it
David
worked?
Luiz are our main creators.
Do you know why it worked last year? It was a culture change, and it was a shock to the system, and people were not used to it. Now
Agreed.
we've become predictable. We've become predictable,
agreed.
and the fans are now the ones getting the culture change. The fans are now the ones that are getting the shock, not the opponents. The opponents weren't used to this, but now they're used to it, and it's now the fans that are getting not used to this. And you know what? We have to either accept it. If this is the way he's going to play a year from now, to be honest, it's like he's not going to last. He's not going to last.
No, he won't.
But at the same time, we're all backing him, and we all know. Remember what he said when he came in. He said, "I want to play progressive football. I want to have the ball. I want to be front foot. I want to have possession. I want to be playing a beautiful style of football." He said all these things when he first became manager. It's
And then he
almost like
met the
all of us
players.
forgot about this.
So he met the players.
Then he met the players.
He doesn't have the players. He doesn't have the players to do that, man. I mean, listen, we've been defensively atrocious, and he's fixed the defense. Honestly, even if we lose, I'm happy we're not losing 5-6-0 like we used to and concede goals within like 2 minutes. The game is over. That, apart from Villa game, looks fixed, right? So he's starting from the base, right? He's creating a foundation, and then he's like, okay, cool. At some point, he's gonna be like, do what you want in the attacking third, be creative, and kind of let that leash go off the dog and just do what you want, right? But we don't have players that can
criticize
actually
him,
create
criticize him,
something.
but respect him. Criticize him, but respect him. People
No, I am
disrespect him.
Dude, I just respected him.
Not you. There's people who disrespect the man.
Yeah,
as,
of course.
comparing him to Tony Pulis is banter. I get it, but the disrespect that I'm hearing about people saying we were better off with Emery. People are so. This constantly happens. We always look at the past. Let's look forward, guys.
We're one player away. We're one player away from having a serious team, man. One Cam, and we're there. We have as we said, we have a spine. We literally just need a playmaker. Okay, 2 if we want to be, one if we 2 if we want to be greedy. 1 if we're going to be like, okay, top 4 is doable. Right now, it's not doable because we don't have creativity.
Let Albert jump in.
You know what it is? I was going to say, like, I don't know if you guys agree, but with Arteta, like, okay, we didn't do the necessary business in the transfer window. We know that. And to be honest, even with January coming up, when have we ever had a good January transfer window at Arsenal? That's another issue anyway. But even if you know what squad of players you've got, okay, so I would think, Arteta's going to look at it and say, all right, what options have I got in terms of trying to find solutions? So if it's not working, yes, Joe Willock may not be the prime Gerrard, Daniel De Rossi, but you've got to give yourself the opportunity to make the necessary changes, man. We can't go into games like we saw the stats for goals and shots. We rank 15th in the Premier League, man. Yeah. Yes, you've got us a bit more defensively sound, but if you're going to be really honest, we're still losing.
Yeah,
we're just not losing.
I guarantee if you put Willock in that midfield and you have 2 players behind him, I'm not saying play him necessarily as 10 because he's going to create enough chances, but if you put him in a midfield where he's allowed to roam forward, we will have a lot more shots
Thank
on goal.
you. Yeah,
A lot more.
Arteta,
Dele
give
Alli role,
yourself a
that second
chance. Yeah.
striker role.
Say again?
That Dele Alli role.
Like a
second striker
Dele
role.
Alli
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we
Someone
got
to
15 more minutes. I want to make sure we get to all the positions. So I'm gonna start. Just get rid of goalkeeper. We know Leno's the main goalkeeper. We're not changing Leno. Is anybody changing Leno? Obviously, we're not, right?
I will say that
We haven't seen the other guy, man. He's played one game.
I've never
Come on,
rated Leno.
behave.
When Leno was at Leverkusen, never rated him. I don't think he's a top goalkeeper.
I second that.
I said that from time.
You know what?
Nah.
You know what? It's not an uncommon view. I think a lot of people probably said that in probably Emery's first season, probably even.
Season you were
I
signed.
know it's his first season, but it's the murmurs have got bigger. That's what I'll say.
I'm a big Bundesliga fan. Check out, I've got a Bundesliga show every Wednesday, cheap plug. But yeah, I'm not I'm not a fan of Leno. I've never been a fan.
There's a reason why I check Adam on the bench. Let's face it.
No, come on.
Listen, there's a reason.
Good shot stopper, but he don't give you
He's just
confidence.
distribution. The rest, there's not that much of a difference. People say we're not going to make top 4 because of that. Like, frankly, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Not because
He's not the issue in our club.
Should we have kept Martinez? Because I'm one of the people who said we should have kept Martinez, but now that he's gone, I don't want to be the one that constantly brings it up. But
No, if we keep Martinez, we don't have
I'll
party.
tell him again.
If we keep Martinez, we don't have party.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% what I said.
40 million without bringing any money in.
That's ridiculous for me, mate. Come on, like if you look at Leno, what keeper don't command their box? I never hear the guy's voice ever.
Yeah, no, he's not a great goalkeeper.
It's strange with Leno. Sorry, just to come in. Like I don't know what you guys think, but I thought when we bought him, we bought him with a view that this guy was actually a modern goalkeeper and good with his feet. And
He's not.
And I think what's keep the pressure on him, not just with Martinez is a Villa player, but Arsenal fans need to get over it. He's not coming back to Arsenal, but he's obviously more commanding and more of a presence. And Leno actually probably hasn't even got any pressure now as the number 1 for who's going to be the number 2 coming in. Like he's even playing in Europa League games.
Yeah, because Arteta told them. The rumor has it Arteta told them he wants his number 1 playing both in the league and in Europe. So that's why this is going out the way it is. But you know what, guys? We're going to keep it moving quick. What we're going to do is our back 4. So I just want everyone to name their back 4. And then when everyone names theirs, we're going to challenge each other on what we think about each other's back 4s. So I'll go with mine first. I think Ainsley should be the right back. I think he deserves a chance to be the right back. I think Bellerin has played enough games and shown us enough that he's made enough mistakes. Play Ainsley. And you know what? Don't forget, guys, when Ainsley was playing the right back position before, he was playing well. My back 4, I'm gonna go with David Luiz and Gabriel, okay, and then I'm gonna go left Tierney, and that's my back 4. I'm gonna go to you, Albert. What are you saying?
Egal, I'm gonna do it slightly different. If we're playing, if everyone was fit and given a chance, ideally, I know the guy's not been given a chance. If we're playing a flat back 4, David Luiz can't play in a 4. David Luiz cannot play in a 4. So Ainsley Maitland-Niles will come in, obviously. Tierney left back. And if I was to throw a curveball and people go, he's not ready, but you've got to give him a chance. Look at Fofana at Leicester, Saliba and Gabriel.
Yeah.
But he's not in the squad, so...
I'm talking in the Premier League squad.
He's not in the Premier League squad.
He's under 21. He's under 21.
He's not in the Premier League.
He's playing in the Premier League.
He can
Are
play
you sure?
in
I'm
the
pretty
Premier
sure.
League.
I'm pretty sure
in the Premier League.
He can.
Yeah.
Okay, so but what about the Europa? So it's just the Europa he can't play. Okay, okay. So then I agree with Albert too. So 100%. I mean, to be honest, Bellerin, Maitland-Niles. Listen, I didn't rate Maitland-Niles. Then he came and he showed that he was a superstar. And then you kick him out of the team, man. I don't think I don't know if he's that good anymore because he hasn't been playing for like months, man. He's not at that level anymore. Frankly, I mean, it's hard. So Bellerin or Maitland-Niles, I don't think there's that much of a difference because Maitland-Niles, I think, is out of form. He hasn't played. And then 100%, so put Saliba there, put Gabriel and my boy Kieran Tierney. Missed the consistency.
Yeah. If we're doing a back 4, I'm going to go Bellerin over Ainsley, to be honest with you. I think Ainsley, as a wing back, is a much better prospect than Ainsley as a right back. I think Bellerin, he was decent from beginning of the season. The last few games he's been a bit shaky, but I still think he's a good right back. I think he's a good Premier League level right back. And then I would go Saliba and Gabriel and then Tierney left back.
Yeah. I feel like there's a core of players that everyone's going to pick. Catch, who would you say?
It'll have to be Ainsley for me. Ainsley at right back. Saliba, Gabriel, and Tierney.
Yeah.
Okay. So
sorry, the fact that we all said Saliba and this guy is not even that's nuts, man.
Nice.
No. So if you guys seen him play for the youth, he's
so
performed
good.
quite well. But of course, it's not the Premier League. We don't know what it's going to look like against the Premier League. But yeah, we're going to move on. So consensus, if we look at the consensus team, pretty much everybody has Saliba and what do you call it?
Gabriel.
Ainsley. Saliba and Ainsley are the replacements for who's actually playing currently.
If it's a 4,
Yeah, so we're going to go to midfield. We're going to just imagine that we play a 3. What are you guys saying with the midfield?
Go, Egal. Give us yours. We'll go through.
Yeah.
I'll start it off. I think we're going to do double pivot of Ceballos and Pepe with Saka as a 10. That's my midfield.
Quite out there.
What are you guys saying?
Albert?
Come back to me. Let
me give you a caveat. 1 second. Let me give you a caveat. Away from home, I wouldn't go with the same team, no. I would go with away from home. I would go with Elneny and Pepe with Ceballos as the 10 or Saka as the 10. I would change it depending on the team that we play. But
fair,
what are you guys saying? I'll let
for
Devo
me.
After. Yeah,
I'd
go probably Partey, Ceballos, and then depending on who we're playing, I don't know if I want to do a flat 3 or if I want to put Willock in there, or if I want to go with a 10 and put Saka at 10. Saka has to get in the team. It's whether he starts wide or if he starts centrally. But I think it depends on who we're playing, because if we put Willock in there, he will break the lines. Saka, you want him to kind of stay in the hole and create. So it depends on who we're playing. But I think Partey and Ceballos has to be your central. But then also I like Xhaka. I think Xhaka he can control the play and control possession for us, but he's too slow on the ball. That's his only issue. But we have looked a much better side under Arteta with Xhaka in the team. We look a lot more solid. Maybe not when him.
When we play a 3 at the back, he gives you a bit.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because he becomes a left back. He's not a midfielder when we play a 3. So come on.
Yeah.
But he's an intelligent player. That's what I'm saying. We don't have many intelligent players. We don't.
That is true.
That's a problem that we have.
Basic. Football, he's basic, man.
He's basic, but he's intelligent. A lot of our players.
I doubt it. Okay. Sorry, I know. I need to challenge you on this. Sorry, because I can't let that go. You're saying he's intelligent. He pulls players and gets yellow cards all the time. He gave away penalties. He's one of the reasons we didn't make top 4 against Crystal Palace when he gave away the penalty. Come on, that's not an intelligent player, man. He goes to the ground too fast. I don't want to hate on him, but I mean, you shove him in my face all the time and keep playing him. I'm just tired of him, and I can't accept that.
Look at what Xhaka is there to do. Xhaka is not there to destroy and break up play. He's been forced to play that. That's not his game. If we have
what is this game? What is this game?
Hold on. If we have Partey next to him, he's not going to have to do all of that stuff.
Okay.
He's what I like to call a recycler. So you get him the ball, he recycles, he keeps possession.
Yeah.
He's also intelligent. He knows how to move people around him. Look at the Arsenal players. How many of them are vocal?
Yeah.
How many of them are vocal on the pitch? Xhaka's vocal.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you on the vocal part, but dude, you're playing for Arsenal Football Club, man. Any player can be a recycle player. Dani Ceballos can do it. Elneny can do it. Come on, they can all do what he does, and they can break the lines, and they can go forward and dribble past players. He can't do that for crap.
They don't. That's what I'm saying.
No, they do. Elneny and Ceballos have been doing that. So, I don't want to seem like I hate on him. I just don't think he's a good player, man. He's rubbish. He's rubbish.
No.
He's rubbish. He's a dictator for what? For passing balls left, right. He should be. Any player can do that, man. Like, you're playing in the Premier League. Any player should have that skill set. Even if you're a defender, look at David Luiz. He can dictate play and stuff.
You're saying all this, but none of them do the job that he's done. That's why we're in this position.
Gooner.
So the job that he's done since he's been at Arsenal, we've never made the Champions League, man. This guy is not the answer. Yes, dude, he's a 40 million pound player. You could have gone Grealish. You look how many players you could have gone for that money, man.
And you have an issue with
I don't, because he's caused too much pain. That bro, you can't fix that anymore.
So what's your
and it's not about the insulting. It's just about the quality.
No, African Gooner. What's your midfield? Because
so obviously Xhaka's not in my midfield. I'm going for Partey. The reason I'm not going for Ceballos is I think he can get lost out of play. And positionally he can just get done like that. So I'm nervous to play him in the pivot. El Neni, I didn't rate him, but he's been phenomenal. Like I'm on that El Neni train, unfortunately, because he's been playing really well. So I'm gonna go with El Neni, Partey, and I want to see either Willian, Joe Willock, Ceballos, or even Pepe. Try all of them. Even Martinelli at some point. Try all of them because we need to figure out.
Pick 3 people. Don't pick the whole team.
Right now, next game, Joe Willock, because that's all we can do.
Okay.
So Joe Willock, Partey, and El Neni. That's my 3.
Okay. Albert, you already went, right? No, you didn't go.
No, I didn't. Guy, you made a good point in terms of home and away, or in terms of like who we're playing against. But I would go Partey, El Neni, and Ceballos. But with Ceballos, when he came on the other night, for example, he's meant to be like our creative player, right? But it's a bit difficult to do that when you're creating from very, very deep. I don't know whether it's a case of he's been told that by Arteta, or he's just, to me, he needs to play further forward.
It's the whole team, mate. Our average positioning as the entire team is 10 yards behind every other team, though.
He's not a 10. He's not a 10.
He's an 8 who can play on the wing when he's asked to.
But to get to, I just think if you're going to play him, he needs to play him further forward, man. You can't. The last thing we need is a deep line midfield player. If you've got Partey and you've got El Neni there, you've got the license to go forward. If you're not going to play,
I think if
you're not going to, sorry, Kesh, if you're not going to play Ceballos, then you've got the option of Willock, who goes beyond the front 3.
Okay.
I think the key is to free up Partey to go further forward. That's the key. And as much as people are rumbling on about El Neni, he's not the guy to allow Partey to do that. My midfield will be Partey. I'll put El Neni in there, and I'll try and get Smith Rowe in as a 10.
Ooh.
Good shout.
So just a quick one on that, Kesh. They can rotate. The thing with El Neni, Partey is the one can go forward and one can stay back. If you have Ceballos there, you can't do that, man. So I would have an option where you have them switching.
El Neni doesn't go forward, though.
He can, dude. He made an assist. Remember that pass he paid to? What are you saying, dude? He's been playing
in the Europa League against Farm.
No, he did it in the Prem. He's been one of our main creators in midfield.
One good ball in the whole.
No, I know, guys. I don't rate him, but he's playing well, so you have to give him his props.
What about the Leicester game again in the Carabao Cup?
Look at the rest of the team, man. It's not just
I like Neni, but he ain't this creator.
Listen, it's funny. It's funny how we talk about our midfield being bad, but it's the one that we spend the most time on.
Because it's bad.
Because we need to figure out a solution.
If it was good, it would have been straightforward. Like, bam, these guys.
Okay.
But that's our whole team. Let's be honest, yeah. Except for maybe Aubameyang, that's pretty much our whole team. And Gabriel and Pepe.
The front 3 should be straightforward for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Pepe or Willian? That's a question. Lacazette, Etienne,
Neither. Pepe don't see pitch for me. He's not intelligent enough to see pitch.
What about Lacazette?
Lacazette don't see pitch either. Lacazette should have been sold long time.
What's your team?
No, for me, I'm assuming that Martinelli's fit, so I'm going if everyone's fit.
Boy.
For me, it's Saka, Martinelli, Aubameyang. That's my front 3.
Woo! That's the future right
You got fluidity, you got movement, you got pace, and you've got 3 players who are actually intelligent going forward. They make the correct runs. Pepe, I've never in my life seen him make a run beyond the front man. I've seen him take so many touches when he could do it all in one touch.
You know as well, yeah. That's one of the reasons why our front 3 is not fluid. Lacquer. You will never see that guy go out wide. No. That's why our front 3 is not fluid enough.
It's so predictable.
No, but he has to drop deep, as Albert said. He has to drop so deep, man. We killed that guy.
Either way, even if we were trying to play a fluid front 3, you would not get that tune out of Lacazette.
You see when people are saying he has to drop deep. I get that he does. But I look at a man like Giroud when he was playing for Arsenal. I see him drop deep to get the ball.
And he makes that burst.
He'll get it, pop it off, and he's gone. He's looking for a ball up the pitch. Lacazette will pop it off and then walk.
There's no desire to get goals.
Trying to break the lines. Never.
There's no desire to get
goals. He's a lazy footballer. He's a lazy baller.
We can get into this all day. We're gonna probably go over the hour, guys. So thanks for having patience with me, guys. And big up to everybody in the comment section. I want to know in the comment section what's your what's your front three, guys, in the comment section? Let me know. And Devil, so you gave us your first front three, and you went with a young Saka, Martinelli, and Aubameyang up top, right?
Yep.
That's different. Now, Kesh, what are you saying?
Exactly the same front three. Martinelli, Aubameyang, Saka. Listen, at the end of the day, what is the point of proceeding with these players that ain't got a future at the club?
Pepe doesn't have a future at the club.
Willian ain't got.
I mean Willian.
Pepe for me.
Oh,
bro.
What,
If I can get 50 mil for him, I'll sell Pepe.
50 mil? Who's gonna pay 50 mil for him, man? I wish.
Exactly, but I'll take whatever I can get a good enough fee and run with it. Honestly.
I'll take you back to the West Ham game where Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Pepe started up front. And to me, I'm playing Saka in the 10. I'm putting all four of them in the team.
Why does everyone think Saka's a 10 all of a sudden? Honestly.
No,
because he's creative.
Because he has the intelligence to go back and defend. Because he has the intelligence to go back and defend in wide areas. He could almost be filling like the left midfielder role in defense, but when attacking, he could be more forward. That's what I would see him as.
Fair enough.
Right. Anyways, that's my front three. I don't know what you guys think. I'm going back to West Ham beating them 3-1? Yeah. What are you saying, Albert? What's your front three?
Yeah, the front three is the bane of my life, man, because I've said that one thing I want to see before the start of the season, I would say more so in our Premier League games, is a more settled front three. There's too much chopping and changing. 1 week is Nketiah, 1 week is Lacazette. With whatever combination it is, there's no fluidity. There's no interchange. It's dead. It's boring. There's nothing. It doesn't matter. It is. So with Pepe, I think because I would give him, I wouldn't say he necessarily got credit in the bank because I don't think he has, because he's incredibly frustrating to watch. But it's like I said earlier, it's all well Mikel Arteta saying about 90-minute performances and consistency, but if you've only got one Premier League start away to Man City, you need to give the guy a run of games. If Pepe comes out and makes the comments, which I think timing-wise, I think he's right to say what he said. He didn't say anything out of order or wrong. I just think he was right to say what he said. But I would say he's probably put a little bit of pressure on himself, which is not a bad thing. If you do get a run of games, then you have got to perform, man. So my front three, as I said for quite a while now, would be I've even completely forgot Martinelli because obviously he was injured, but it'd be Saka, Uber, and Pepe. But I'd want to see more interchange between Saka and Pepe, not to stay stationary in one position. And with Pepe, I wouldn't play him on the right. I've never understood that. I know they go he's left-footed, he can cut in, but he hasn't got a right foot until he scored that goal in the Europa League. But play him on the. Why can't you play him on the left? But that's down to Arteta to show a bit more flexibility and adaptability in his front three. Play him on the left. Saka can play anywhere on the pitch the way he's been playing, and I actually think he can play on the right for free.
Yeah,
even just because he's intelligent. And it goes back to I don't think Pepe is an intelligent footballer. I don't think he is.
He'll be the same. He'll be the same on the left, man. And why do you want to waste Saka on the right? I mean, Pepe's going to give you the same on the left.
Wait, hold on.
On the right because he can play on the right.
When Smith Rowe first came in under Arsene Wenger, he showed ability.
Yeah.
It's injuries that disrupted that, and then he went out alone and he got injured again. Smith Rowe's got a lot of ability, and let's face it, we haven't got a 10 right now, so why not give a youngster who's in our team a chance?
He's injured. That's why.
No, he's back now. I'm thinking when you come back from the international break, he needs to be.
Yeah, now this time. Yeah.
But Kesh, that's what I'm saying. With Arteta, with the squad, okay, we didn't do what he did. We didn't do what we needed to do in the transfer window. Right, we've got the squad of players we've got. You have options there. It's not that they're not there, but give yourself a chance to give yourself a solution by playing the option.
You know what I'm going to say? It's not the same situation as Chelsea, but they're the band and they can bring players in. They use the likes of Mason Mount. They use the likes of Tammy. We're going to have to make do with what we have. Blood the youngsters. Blood the ones that you think have got a future at this club. Exactly the same with Saliba. What's the point of playing a Mustafi who's not going to be here next season? As Wenger said when he brought his book out the other day, he said you can play an experienced defender, but if that experienced defender is still costing you games, it's better to go with a youngster who's got a future at the club. even though they might cost the games, but you know they'll learn from it and they'll get experience.
What? Smith Rowe's not creative. Don't know who.
Yeah, he is.
Have you watched him?
Just
He's not.
I don't know what
banter.
this guy's talking about. This
Yeah,
guy,
he's just-
I don't know what you're
he's
talking
just
about. But yo,
bantering.
I want to
Let me give my 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Kesh, by the way, I agree with that totally, but that should be Europa League, man. Our Premier League squad shouldn't be half of youngsters. I don't believe in that. I agree with you. They should try that out in the Europa League, but in our Premier League, that should be our best team, man, and we never have that. It's been years. Anyways, my front 3, Albert and Devo, you guys, we haven't chatted before. Martinelli's my favorite player, him and Kieran Tierney. So I'm super excited for Martinelli to come back. And I actually feel a little bit bad for this kid because there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders now to come back and try and do something creatively. And he's not
going to fix it, man. But
no, he might score goals. We start scoring goals, and magic can happen as soon as the team builds confidence and stuff. We start scoring goals. We destroy a team 5-0. it's Arsenal. It goes, as I said, it goes from up here.
You know what it is?
Here.
Sorry, Gal. Sorry, but even with what I was saying earlier about certain players not being Arteta's players. Even when Martinelli before he got injured, Arteta wasn't playing him.
Yeah, I know. I think there was a reason. I think he was carrying an injury. That's why. Yeah.
Injury.
We don't really know, right? But that's what we heard. So let's see what happens when he comes back. I think it'll be quite, he won't rush him in because he just got a major injury. It might take him a couple of weeks. There's no choice. Play him in the Europa League. There's no excuse for not playing him there. So Martinelli, Aubameyang, and I agree. Pepe is done out here, man. He can't do shit. He can't use his right foot, and he does the same old crap all the time. It's not an agenda, dude. I want the best for Arsenal. I want him to do well.
It's fine. But it's just I feel like
my right winger would have to be 1 second. Let me see. I have to think about it. I think it has to be Saka and Willian. You can change them depending on the game, and that goes along with Martinelli as well. You pay Willian 200K, man. We have to use him somewhere.
That's one of the worst signings we've made in the last 10 years.
Signing we've ever made, honestly.
It's still early.
That makes no sense.
Say it's a bad signing.
No, if you're going to continue playing him on the wing, it's going to be your worst signing. The way you have to play Willian, you've got to play him as like a second striker in behind of Dani. He can get you goals, but in terms of creating, he's not a creative player. He's not.
He's at the end of his career. We're a club that doesn't have much money. We're being led to believe we don't have much money. And we splashed 200 grand on a man who's 33 and we give him a 3-year contract. That's dead money. That's dead money. We just throw away 200 grand for 3 years. We ain't going to be able to get him off that contract.
Yeah, so Devo, what's the difference between Pepe and Willian, man? What's the difference between the two? Why do you think we signed Willian?
The difference is Pepe at least could be hungry to make a name for himself. Willian's done. His career's done. He's won everything there is to win. He's come to Arsenal to have a day off.
True.
You know what I mean? Them man at Chelsea were pushing him too hard.
David Luiz invited him. Come to Arsenal, man. It's
chill over here.
There's no expectations here. Come chill.
Guys,
I think he'll come good. I'm hoping he will.
Guys, we did the whole lineup. We've talked about everything. We're going to wrap it up, but I know this topic, we're going to leave it for another day. We're going to get into Arteta and everything another day. We're going to wrap it up here. Closing remarks on everything, just a little bit of whatever you want to say, and whatever you gotta promote. Let us know. I'll start with you, Albert.
Mute.
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Go on.
Go ahead, bro.
Sorry, I didn't.
Closing remarks and anything you gotta promote or tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm closing remarks. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what Arteta does, man, after his international break, man. Seriously. I think it came at the best time. People say, international football. I'm like, no. I personally need a break from Arsenal. I need a break from them. As the fan base, we needed that 2 weeks. Trust me. But yeah, guys, find me on Albert JTV on my YouTube channel. My Twitter handle's on the page. Check out the content. If you like it, then you know what to do.
There you go, African Gooner. What are you saying?
Yeah, man. First of all, Albert, Devo, it was a pleasure meeting you. I had so much fun chatting about Arsenal. And yeah, I love Arsenal, man. I love Arsenal with all my heart. I've missed job interviews. I've missed dates. I've missed a lot of things for Arsenal. And it really hurts to be in this position, man. And, we seriously, I was really happy with Partey. And I thought we were going to be able to make it this season. But we were really missing that creative player. So hopefully we can find a solution, whether that's Emile Smith-Rowe or Willock. But, we need to find a solution because we're not going to buy a player in January. And we're going to limp through this entire season. Let's be real. And hopefully we just make it. If we don't make it, we need to win the Europa League and hope we don't get any of the big dons in the Europa League and the knockout stages. So hopefully Arsenal can come back with flying colors.
True. And you got anything to promote before you go?
You find me on Twitter at @LAfricanGooner and on 101 on Arsenal YouTube channel.
Okay. And Devo, what you saying, my guy? Big up to you, bro. Congratulations on the child. You know, that's the biggest blessing on the world, you know?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. It's keeping me up at night, but it's all worth it, man. In terms of Arsenal, I just think, you know, we have to be realistic at where we are as a football club. I know sometimes I come across as pessimistic, but, you know, I've been watching Arsenal for a long, long time. I remember Arsenal before Wenger. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to show my age.
Same here.
You know what I mean? I know how bad it can be.
Yeah.
But we're in a bit of a process of change in the moment. But I think Arteta is the right man. He's the manager I wanted from before Emery was there. I think Arteta is a modern manager. I think at the moment he's struggling with some of the players that aren't necessarily his players, but he's making it hard for himself. Just put Aubameyang through the middle. Put ourselves in a position to make the best of what we've got. I think he's trying to overthink things a little bit.
100%.
But yeah, I think we have got some good players. We have got some deadwood. And I think throughout the season, I think he needs to start getting rid of that deadwood and just playing the players who are going to be there, the players who are the future of the club, your Willocks, your Nelsons, your Sakas, you know, your Martinellis, and those kind of players that are going to be there, hopefully be there for the long term. But I think we will challenge for top 4, not necessarily because of how good we are, but because of just the shake-up of what's happening at the moment with COVID and everything's a bit up in the air. Man United are struggling, City are struggling. You know what I mean? Teams are dropping points here, there, and everywhere. So if we can just find some sort of consistency, maybe go on a run where we win 5 or 6 out of 7 or 8, then I think we might come good and get into that top 4, at least get close to the top 4. In terms of where you can find me, Devo LDN on Twitter. You can find me on the Football Dugout. As I said, we've got the Bundesliga show I do every Wednesday, and we've also got shows Monday and Thursday. So the Football Dugout, we're on the road to 1,000 subs. We're on about 760 at the moment. So if you want to sub to that, we'd appreciate it.
Big up to him. And then Kesh, what are you saying?
I just think this international break has come at the right time.
Yep, 100%.
I feel when we get back, we just need to be brave. Just let the players express themselves. Try and blend the future and let them play. Let them represent the club, not these players that don't want to be here. These players that know that there's no repercussions for underwhelming performances, so they just continue giving it. Because that's what's holding us back. There's no repercussion. There's no ruthlessness to say, listen, you're not doing the job that I paid you to do. You're out of this club.
Yeah.
Albert, you were going to say something?
Yeah, you know what, Kesh, just to follow on what Kesh has said there, he's right, like about the repercussions. I remember Ian Wright made that famous comment on Match Today. He talked about naughty school children.
Yeah.
If you don't, you know what I mean? If they let him get away with it, they're going to keep doing the same things. It's true.
Yeah.
So I think Aston Villa was the first time.
Wrapping it up. I'm going to get back to that in a second. Kesh, did you have anything to shout out?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's Kesh a.f.c. 04.
There you go. And yeah, African Gooner, just one moment. I'm gonna tell everybody, big up to everybody watching. You know what, this has been the inaugural show. I want to say big up to African Gooner, Albert, Devo, Kesh. You guys been great. And you know what, I'm gonna be doing this more often on Fridays after the Europa League games, just before the Premier League games. That show right bang in the middle, so you guys can catch us every Friday at 8 o'clock here on the Arsenal Lounge. And you know what, if you want to catch more of my content, you can catch it on EGTV. I'll be going live right after this at 9:30. I'll be doing another video, so if you guys want to go check that out right after, you can check that out. And you probably might catch Kesh or some of the regulars here on there. I've done videos with Albert. I've chilled with Kesh numerous times. African Gooner has been on there for my inaugural show. Devo, I've had you on shows numerous times. So big up to all you guys. And you know what, thank you guys for coming on. And Shaheen, if you're in the background, you already know what to do, bro. You're my guy. But yeah, African Gooner, you're about